guys, this is Hackosaurus coming to you live. I'm going to show you out some of the basic tutorials of Linux command line to CLI. If you notice something different about my desktop, I'm not using icons right now. I am using actually kind of a modded version of what the Apple OS looks like for Windows 7. So if you'd like me to go ahead and show you how I did that, go ahead and post in the comments. I'd be glad to make a tutorial. Was that hard? First thing you're going to need to do is you're going to install Linux on your Windows 7 computer. So you're going to need an emulating software. The free version of it out there is called VirtualBox. VirtualBox is made by Oracle and it's pretty easy to use. Just go to their website here and download it. You can pick which one you want. The second thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get a copy of a Linux operating system. Now in this tutorial I will be using CentOS, and that's currently what my college is using right now. Another thing, these ads up at the top, I'm not being redirected. I'm actually using a proxy. I'm not using my internet right now. I am borrowing an apartment building's internet for this video. So if you see some ads pop up, don't think that I'm being spammed or anything. I'm just simply protecting my information. Now you can see that we're on the CentOS download page. You can go ahead and click any of these. The thing you want to find in these directories is something that says .iso, which is going to be the entire operating system on a single file format. So can't find any here. We'll just try to redo my search. 5.6 download, there it is. Let's see. That's what it's going to look like. Content. Yep, you can just find any of these. You can just click any of these. You can do the HTTP or FTP. Doesn't really matter as long as you get the ISO file. Now, I'm going to need to launch my virtualization software, which I'm using VMware, which is a paid product version, same thing as VirtualBox, only it kind of looks a little bit different. And my Rocket Dock is gone. There it is. Alright. So what this does is it actually allows you to launch a different operating system inside of your own operating system. And I'll pull up the file. I'm actually doing this for a lab test on Tuesday, but I already know 90% of what's going to be on the test, so I figured I'd help out fellow IT men and make this tutorial on the basic few of the basic Linux commands. There's my lab test. Just kind of got to wait for the operating system to boot. One thing you will notice is that Windows boots faster than Linux does. I've noticed that on a couple of different operating systems. Ubuntu is pretty good about booting up. CentOS, Black Ubuntu, which is a new security operating system that was just released, Backtrack, those take a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and throw this PDF lab test on a Dropbox site, and I'll link to it in the description. So you can go ahead and download that, and you can follow along at your own pace. Alright, we got that in my Dropbox. I'll just copy the link, and I will throw that into the description for you. You can download that anytime. Now, mine is going to look a little bit different than yours. Yours will boot into the GUI, or graphical user interface. Mine is booting straight into CLI because I actually had a corrupt install on my GUI. So I will be doing everything from this black screen right here. A little bit harder. You really have to know what you're doing if you're going straight through GLI. But going through the GUI for you is just fine. All you have to do is go up to, I think it's accessories, and under one of the drop tabs should be terminal, and it'll look exactly like this on a smaller scale on the pop-up box. First thing we're going to need to do is make DIRA through C, more, and new under your home user test. PWD, first off, shows us right where we are in our directory listing. So you can see that I'm under home Nate. The make dir test failed because I have already made this directory. So I'm going to make dir, dirb, drc, dir-more, and new, but I know that I need to be under test. Judging by the user's manual, I am going to go ahead and do a cd, change directory, and as you can see, instead of the tilde, you can see the test is there. Now I want to make dir, those are going to make those directories. Now the reason it didn't make above was because I had to take out the K. I didn't want to make those directories straight to my home folder. I wanted to make them under the directory of test. So you can see step 2 is you want to create, or you want to change, excuse me, the directories privileges to 722. If you need to know more about that, let me know. I will tell you all about file rights and directory rights. So we're going to do chol mod 722 asterisk under test, and that is the asterisk means everything that's in the test directory. Now what I'm doing here with these touch commands is touch is creating a file under a directory. So if you touch dira slash file1, that is creating file 1 under dira. So for step 3, as you can see on the lab test, tells us that we need to create those. Now step 4, we can double check to see that those files were made by doing an ls dira. And you can see that there's a file 1 listed there. Also, if you are doing this from the GUI, you can check this by double-clicking on your home folder, test, and dira, and there should be a file 1 there. Now, step 4, you're going to edit text files from the terminal or command line. Vi is a built-in editing command into the Linux terminal. So if you do vi, the file name, the file path, you will get into that file. Now, it says to put your pet's name. Instead, I'll just write some names down in here. Now, by pressing escape, you are being able to get to the save. Notice how I'm going from insert to nothing. If you do a shift:WQ, W is going to write it, Q is going to save it. So again, back to that insert, being able to see the insert, not being able to see the insert. When you press I, when you go into Vi, you are able to delete and edit words. When you hit escape, as I'm about to do here in a second, you'll see that by pressing escape and then hitting shift:, you can type WQ to save the file. If you don't press escape, you will actually corrupt that file, or it will not save and quit. So for this second file, we will just go hello YouTube, escape, shift:, WQ is going to write and save that file. VIDIRC/file3, we're opening up that, and that actually looks good. So we'll shift:, WQ, save that file. Now we're going to change the rights on, I actually just plugged a USB in. Sorry about that. I'll just clear the screen. And we'll clear it again. We're going to change the file rights. So we're going to need chmod one more time with the file rights 622, and then the path of the file that we would wish to change. So we're going to do dira/file1 first, and you can see that executed swimmingly. So we'll do B file2, and we'll do C file3. And again, this chmod, all it's doing is changing the rights of that directory or file. So now it's asking us to copy those files to the dir more. So we're going to cp copy, and we'll have to do a path to the files we're copying. So we'll need to execute this command 3 times, one for dir A file1, dir B file2, and dir C file3. Now we can do a pwd, an ls, which is going to show you all the contents in a directory to verify that those files copied. So we'll do an ls dir more to verify that those files were copied correctly. And you can see those files are there. We do a pwd to see where we are on the directory. We are under home, nate, test, dir more. Now step 7 is going to move all of those files to the directory dir new. So we're going to do an mv asterisk, mv for move, asterisk for anything that's currently in the dir more directory. Then we're going to use the absolute path name. You can see that that executed perfectly. We're going to do an ls with that new path that we just copied or moved everything to. You can see everything there copied successfully. Now we're going to change the rights of all those files to 333. So we're going to do another chmod 333 an asterisk for anything that's currently in the dir new directory. And that's all we're going to have time for. Actually, I'm going to go over the help switch that is currently in DOS for Windows has been kind of renamed to man for man pages or manual pages. So if you do man and then the command you need help with and you hit enter, that will bring up the syntax help and or parameters you can use with that command. And to exit out of this, you can do a shift colon and Q. And that brings you back to your prompt. So we'll do a man cd to find out what change directory does. You can see it gives you some switches there, kind of gives you some information on what each one does. We'll do a man ls and use the proper syntax, some of the switches and parameters you can use with ls. And it looks like that's all we're going to have time for today.